Imagine building something from nothing, pouring 10 years of your life into it, and then being voted out of it by the very people you hired. At 30 years old, Steve Jobs was fired from Apple. He later said it was the best thing that ever happened to him. The products that came next, Pixar, the iMac, the iPhone, proved he was right. By 1985, Steve Jobs had built Apple into one of the most celebrated companies in the world. He had changed personal computing. He was on magazine covers. He was, by any measure, a success. He was also, by many accounts, nearly impossible to work with, impulsive, controlling, volcanic. The Apple board, led by CEO John Sculley, made the decision. Jobs' operational role was over. At 30 years old, he was out of the company he had started in a garage. The humiliation was total and public. He described the feeling as having the floor pulled out beneath him. For months, he didn't know what to do. He considered selling all his Apple shares. He considered leaving Silicon Valley entirely. He was, by his own account, devastated. But something happened in that devastation. The weight of being Steve Jobs simply lifted. He was nobody again, and nobody can do anything. He bought a small computer graphics company from George Lucas and renamed it Pixar. He started a new computer company called Next. He was no longer protecting a legacy. He was building one. The key reframe. Apple had been limiting him without his knowing it. The responsibility of running a giant public company had compressed his imagination into management. Being fired had restored the beginner's mind, the fearless creative state that built Apple. He was free to be strange, experimental, and wrong again. Pixar produced Toy Story, the first fully computer-animated feature film, and changed cinema. Next's operating system became the foundation Apple would later buy, bringing Jobs back. He returned not as the volcanic young founder, but as something rarer. A man who had been humiliated, rebuilt himself, and learned what he was actually for. The exile had refined him. Back at Apple, he launched the iMac, the iPod, the iPhone, the iPad. Products that didn't just change the company, but changed the world. When he gave the Stanford commencement address in 2005, he said, "Getting fired from Apple was the best thing that could have happened to me." The heaviness of success had been replaced by the lightness of a beginner. Sometimes the thing that looks like the end of the story is actually the moment the real story begins. From I failed Apple to Apple no longer limits my imagination. Jobs made this reframe by asking one specific question after being fired. What could I never have tried while I was